Today I'm going to give you a fun list of the pros and cons of living in Cleveland, Ohio. And there's one of them that actually ends up as a pro and a con. What's up guys? Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert in Cleveland, Ohio. I work with buyers, sellers, investors in all their real estate needs, specializing in upsizing homes and new builds. If you get anything from this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content coming your way. With that, let's get into the pros and cons of Cleveland, Ohio. So let's start with the pros. First on the list is going to be the Great Lake of Lake Erie. With an abundant amount of beaches on the shoreline, there is plenty to choose from. Some of the more popular ones are Edgewater, Huntington, and Nickel Plate. And if you're into fishing, Lake Erie's got you covered. Whether you own your own boat or you want to take a charter out, enjoy all what the lake has to offer. We're known as the walleye capital of the world due to the fact there's 150 million of them, plus they're growing from that number. A couple of the other species that a lot of fishermen like to fish for is the yellow perch, smallmouth bass, trout, and believe it or not, there's 2 types of known salmon that are in Lake Erie. But don't forget to take the ferry across the lake and visit Put-in Bay. Rent a golf cart and enjoy things like putt-putt, a golf course, a Venture Bay amusement park. You have Perry's Cave, and also there's a couple wineries that you can go check out as well. And that's just to name a few. And if you're into the nightlife, they have a great bar scene and great events that happen all the time. So number 2 on the list is going to end up being the entertainment factor. Now I can go on and waste a bunch of your time with this category, but I'm only going to list off a couple of them that I feel are some of the more popular ones. So for starters, the music scene here is amazing. Of course, we got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is a phenomenal museum. Go check that one out. But we also host a lot of the famous bands that come through utilizing Cleveland Browns Stadium, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and Blossom Music Center. Then there's Cedar Point. 346-acre amusement park. The place is huge. You could easily spend a weekend walking around the whole place, going on all the rides, seeing the attractions. It's an amazing time. If you haven't been there, I highly suggest checking that place out. It's been voted 16 consecutive years in a row as the best in the world, and it is home to some of the highest, fastest, and tallest roller coasters around. And number 3 on the list is going to be the sports. Cleveland is home to 3 different professional sporting teams. For football, you got the Cleveland Browns. Baseball, Cleveland Indians. Sorry, Cleveland Guardians. I'm still getting used to that switch even though it's been a bit. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers. Plus, you could check out the Cleveland Monsters, who are an affiliate to the NHL team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Excuse me. There's a great fan base that goes along with them. It is one of the best that I have personally ever seen. I'm not a big basketball and NHL guy, but huge football fan, huge baseball fan. Fortunately, I'm not a Browns fan. Sorry, Cleveland fans. I am a Steelers fan. I know. I hear it all the time. We suck this year. The Steelers are terrible. But the fan base for Cleveland is absolutely amazing. I've been to Cleveland games for the Brown Stadium, and that place gets extremely loud. It is very, very fun time. Indians games, they get pretty loud too. That's always a good time. That's my favorite sport, so I really enjoy going to, sorry, I did it again, the Guardians games. I'm still getting used to that change. I've been to a couple Monsters games, been to a couple Cavs games, but their fan base is absolutely amazing. I think you would also love it as well. So let's get into the cons, guys. So the first con on the list is going to be the weather. And although we don't really get a bunch of natural disasters, we'll get our cases of tornadoes. We do get earthquakes, but I've personally never felt any in the 38 years I've been alive. It'll come up on the news and it's like, oh, there's an earthquake. I had no idea. They're very low magnitude. So our natural disasters, there's really none that happen. You do just got to watch out because thunderstorms do ramp up a little bit during the summer. and it can get dangerous, but nothing too out of control, really. We have an average of 299 days out of the year that will be cloudy, so be prepared for that. We do have our nice moments, don't get me wrong, but spring is typically very, very rainy, very cloudy. Summer kicks off pretty good, and then come July and August, it gets very hot and humid. Non-stop AC running. You step outside, it's sticky, it's gross. It feels kind of miserable at times. Not as bad as Florida, but still gets pretty humid and nasty. Fall, no idea what's going on with fall. Fall's one of those situations where it wants to be every season in one day. There's actually memes out there that'll show a guy laying down and he's got a winter jacket on in the shade and he's in flip-flops and shorts in the sun. It has literally been in the 80s one day, and the very next day the high temperature is 30 or 40 degrees below that, and then it bounces back, and then it goes down, and it bounces. It just gets completely out of control. Fall has no idea what it's even thinking or doing. I feel bad for the meteorologists because they can't even predict what is going to happen with our weather pattern here. Winter, be prepared. Winter gets nasty. As of late, November, December, it's not too terrible as we're entering into winter. January and February tend to be a lot longer feeling than the months really are. And I mean, February is the shortest month of the year, and it always seems like it's the longest. It gets very cloudy. There's usually a lot of our snow. It gets frigid temperatures. We've seen wind chills that are well below zero, 20 below, 30, 40 below in some cases. Real feel-like temperature would be in the negatives at times. It gets very, very cold. It can get very snowy. It's super unpredictable. They'll call for a couple inches of snow, and we wake up and we got a foot or two of snow. It comes over the lake, creates lake effect, gets nasty. So the winter can be very miserable. It could also be very beneficial in a sense if you're into winter and, skiing, snowboarding, all that type of stuff. But the winter is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. It gets nasty and it's not fun. So overall, the weather, with the little bit of nice weather that we do have, the weather is kind of a big con in the area because you just don't know what the day-to-day is truly going to be like with how fast it can change. So the number 2 con on the list is going to be the road construction. And this, namely because of the weather itself, mostly winter. We got to drop salt on the roads. The plows are out plowing. We got to end up playing dodge them throughout all of winter and early spring because the potholes can get pretty crazy. Some of them get really bad. You just got to hope that you're going to avoid every single pothole. There's plenty of people that'll have damaged rims and blow their tires out because they don't catch it in time or they can't swerve over or around it. So you got to watch with the potholes. We consider basically from spring through the end of fall, that's barrel season to us. There's so much road construction that ends up going on. It's a headache. You are guaranteed to have at least a little bit of road rage go on due to the delays, the backups, all the detours that take into account. There's times you got a detour around and your 20-minute drive to work just turned into a 35-minute drive to work. And it'll be like that for the pretty much half the year that you have to accommodate for that. So be prepared. Barrel season gets pretty crazy and it can be a headache. It most likely will be a headache. It's very few people that I actually know. And actually, if I think about it, there's really no one that I know that doesn't get upset about some sort of road construction that's going on or, get bothered by it. It just causes a lot of anger and issues when it doesn't have to, but it's Ohio. Welcome to Ohio and barrel season. And then last on the list, number 3, which some of you may have guessed, this is the repeat one that was also in the pros. It's going to be the sports. Let's face it, Cleveland most likely is cursed as far as the sporting events go. Yes, 2016, the Cavaliers did the impossible and ended up winning the championship, which was a huge shock and surprise, I think, to anyone and everyone that was following basketball at that time. The Indians then, now Guardians, obviously, they were in the World Series. They blew the World Series. They had the 95 and 97 World Series. They blew those. Seems like we're always falling just short. You know, Cleveland finds a way to lose, basically. The Browns, unfortunately, they've never won a Super Bowl. They've had plenty of issues. So be prepared if you want to get on the Cleveland sports scene and support the Cleveland professional teams. Just be prepared for disappointment. You know, the fan base is very strong. The fan base is very optimistic. I actually love of how supporting they are of the teams. But in the same breath, it's always a, oh, come on, are you kidding me? Again, Cleveland found a way to lose. Like, you know, it's just how it goes. Starting to really think that they are truly cursed because they can never break out and actually win that championship of some sort. Again, with the exception of the Cavs. I don't know how they pulled that off. Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea because every odd was against them. I don't even remember the percentage of it, but it was super low. So just be prepared. Sports is a lot of fun. It's a pro. It's a con. So enjoy having your emotions played with, basically. So there you have it, guys. That's my list of the pros and cons of living in Cleveland, Ohio. Don't forget to hit the like button and also comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with any of them? Did I miss any? Do you have some pros and cons of yourself that you know of about the Cleveland area? Also, too, if you're a Browns fan and you just want to bash on me for being a Steelers fan, have at it. I welcome it. I love a good sports rivalry. It's always a good time. And then if you have any real estate questions, concerns, call, text, email me 24/7. I am happy to help you out. You don't even have to be in the state of Ohio, or it doesn't even have to be related to Ohio. I will get you answers. You know, however I can help you, I'm happy to do so. With that, I will catch you guys on the next video.